Welcome to Timeout with Coach Mike Miller. Coach Miller is the basketball coach with the most wins in LACC history, coaching his teams to a national record of 14 straight conference championships, breaking UCLA's old record of 13. Coach Miller is the first basketball coach in California basketball history to win a state championship at both the high school and college levels. Coach Miller has been honored as Coach of the Year 18 times and has produced almost 100 Division I players. For the next 2 hours, get ready for stats, facts, rants, and your opportunity to chat with one of the most successful basketball coaches in the entire country and his friends. Timeout with Coach Mike Miller.
Welcome to the show. This is Coach Miller. Welcome to Timeout with Coach Miller. I always like to start off by introducing our team tonight. In the sound booth, we have Jeremy.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Jeremy, great to be here. I'm always happy that you're here with me.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. And across diagonal from me over here is my favorite former power forward. That's Chris Maxwell.
Hey, how you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good. It's good. It's good that you're here, Chris. I mean, it's not the same when you're not here. That's all I can say.
Yeah, usually when I'm not here, it's either one or two reasons. Either I'm at work or I'm at a game. So no games near the San Gabriel Valley region tonight. So definitely was going to be here tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. I'm excited. So thanks for joining us tonight, as always. You don't miss much. You've only missed a couple shows.
Only a couple. One night I had to go into work and couple of basketball games I attended and on the whole other side of Southern California, so I couldn't really get in that night. One night I was sick, so it was maybe like 3.
Yeah. You haven't missed much. I mean, you've been here. You're a regular. You started out as our stats and facts guy. I think that's what it says on your business card.
Yeah,
it says stats and facts, and you're darn good with those stats and facts. But it's turned into a lot more than that. So. Anyway, I'm really glad that you're here and you're ready to go talk about some high school basketball. And we have a special guest tonight across from me. You can see him on the camera, is Coach Nolan Johnson, who is in his very first season at Washington High School.
Generals in the house.
The Generals. Down in L.A. So the Generals, I've had a lot of good players from Washington High School over the years, one of my favorite schools. And Coach Johnson took over this job late, Chris. He got the job like mid-September,
the last minute.
Yeah, September 15th or so. And, school already started and, it's crazy. He got that job and they had a great season this year. We're going to talk about that here in a couple minutes. So, Coach Johnson, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
I'm excited to have you on. And, we're going to talk a little bit about what you did this year. And, we've got, before we get into that, Chris likes to start off with a few scores. Chris, I think all the scores are in from the Open Division tonight in Southern California. You got the Mater Dei St. Augustine score, Chris?
Yeah, I sure do. In the Open Division, the Southern Division of the CIF state tournament going on right now.
Southern bracket.
Yep. We have Mater Dei that beat St. Augustine from San Diego, 65-38.
When they play those, and you remember when you played for me, we don't want to date ourselves by how many years that was, but we won the state 23. Well, thanks. We won the state championship the last game that I coached you in,
right.
And it's the same thing now. When you're from LA or the LA area,
Southern California.
And you get into the state tournament and you get to play a team from Fresno or San Diego, it's always a walkover.
And you generally the which is a good thing. I mean, for the LA schools, is they generally get the home advantage, the higher seeded in the tournament. So, they don't have to travel as much.
But not always. Not always.
Because there's some, there's a couple teams up in Fresno that are really good, Clovis West and a couple other ones, and even down in San Diego, you get a team like St. Augustine. I mean, they got killed tonight, but usually they have a good program down there. Torrey Pines and a couple other schools down there. So generally, but when the LA schools are rolling, they're really rolling. So they don't really have to go all the way up to Fresno or come all the way down back down to San Diego.
All I want to say, it's very predictable. that when one of the teams from the LA area or Orange County plays a San Diego or a Fresno team in the southern bracket, it's generally a walkover.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what it was tonight. Mater Dei 65, St. Augustine 38. The other one was the Redondo Union against La Costa Canyon. And do you have that score?
Yeah, I sure do. That one, they didn't have it on their website, but I have it right here on the LA Times website. That one was 71-51, which, pretty much all of them were almost 20-point games.
Which is another walkover for Redondo Union.
Right.
Congratulations to Reggie Morse Jr. and the coach at Redondo Union, who won a state title last year and is going for another one this year. It's going to be tough for him to repeat, but he's trying, because he's in the open division now.
Right.
Okay, now, the other two games, do you have those scores?
Yeah. El Camino Real from the city section got beat tonight by Etowanda, 51-64. Etowanda's star player, I know he got hurt against Chino Hills 2 weeks ago in CIF Open Division bracket, and so he came back. I forget the kid's name.
Don't worry about it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So the bottom
he came back and Etowanda, got the victory over the city schools 64-51.
And
Is that Jordan McLaughlin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, Coach Johnson rescued you there, Chris. He knows the guys' names now. Now listen, Etowanda's a good team. El Camino's a good team. I saw El Camino play last Saturday night. Last Saturday night
I saw that game as well.
Beat Westchester. And I was surprised they beat Westchester, but they did. And speaking of Westchester, they went into the open division, and they go on the road and play the number 2 seed. Hold on. Let's set this up before you give the score. They go on the road, play the number 2 seed. That means they're the 7 seed. Right. And guess what happened?
All the way to Riverside, and they pulled out an 18-point win.
Wow. 79-61. Congratulations to the Westchester Comets. Congratulations to Coach Marlon Morton, Coach Ed Azam. Congratulations to Cameron Young, who was here last week. Right. Now, Coach Johnson, you were here last week, and we had this weird thing happen. It was the first time that we had a team in.
I thought about that all night
or a coach in. The first time we had a team or coach in that they lost after our show. The first time. So they made up for it tonight.
They did.
They go on the road, beat the number 2 seed.
Which sets up a really interesting matchup Tuesday night when Westchester goes down a little bit further down into the South Bay and plays Redondo Union, which is going to be a really good game.
That's a good game.
That's going to be a good game. I guess I know where we're all going to be on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I might have to brave that freeway again and try to make my way down there again.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll figure that one out. So those were the games tonight in the southern bracket of the open division. And there were 2 games, Chris, in the northern bracket of the open division. Modesto Christian, who's a powerhouse, beat Newark Memorial by 1, 56-55. And Archbishop Mitty, another powerhouse, beat El Cerrito 67-58 in Northern California. So that's it. Those were the only games tonight.
I'm kind of mad at this, though. We talked about it a little bit off the air, but I just don't understand how you have an open division. You have 2 teams that have buys. You couldn't find 2 more teams for them to play those games.
Well, in Northern California, they don't have as many good quality teams.
Right.
And so that's what they do. It's okay. It's okay. Why do we care? I mean, at the end of the day, the champion from the South is going to play the champion from the North. Why do we care? We're good.
And if they're going to give it to anybody, I guess Bishop O'Dell would be, one of the best ones because they are a powerhouse up there. So
yeah, let's, we're good. So the other games were all played
Tuesday night,
Wednesday night. And then the second round is tomorrow night. So we have to decide. Let's ask Coach Johnson what game he's going to go to tomorrow night. Coach Johnson, what do you got on your agenda for tomorrow night? There's a lot of games tomorrow.
Which ones are there?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, you want to start with
down here. If you start in the Division 1.
Division 1, yeah.
You have Chino Hills and Edison. Edison from San Diego, which is at Chino Hills. You have Long Beach Poly and Mayfair.
That's my big one.
A battle of opposite ends of the 110 freeway.
Yeah. And that's a 4 versus 5 seed, and that's at Mayfair.
Right.
I want to see Mr. Willie Moorhan play.
Okay.
Mayfair.
Okay.
You have Centennial High from down in San Diego playing against Fairfax tomorrow.
No, the Centennial's in Corona.
Is that Corona Centennial? Oh, yeah.
That's in Corona.
It is Corona
yeah,
Centennial.
that's out in the Riverside area, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're playing Fairfax tomorrow. And wait, before you go, that gives me a chance to talk a little bit about this because Coach Johnson coaches at Washington, the city section. You know, that's the section. Our show, Chris, Time Out with Coach Miller, is sponsoring the LA Classic, and that's a great event. It's not just a game; it's an event. It's a brunch, a banquet, an awards ceremony, and a series of games. And it's going to be April 5th, held at East LA College. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great event. Now, that event is meant to highlight coaches and student athletes from the city section. So we want to kind of stop on this Fairfax when you mention them. Congratulations to Fairfax. They also went on the road.
Yes, they did.
Wednesday night, and they beat up on a higher seeded team, right?
ML King, right?
Yep.
ML King from on Riverside.
They go out to Riverside, just like Westchester did tonight. Fairfax goes out there and beats up on them 63-48. So congratulations to Coach Catani. I want to also a special shout out to Sage Woodruff at Fairfax. He had a great game, and he's a great young man. He's trying to do something bright with his future, and I'm proud to say that Fairfax won. I'm always going to support the city teams, Chris. You know that. So
and I like Fairfax. I've seen them play a lot over the years since the mid-'90s when I lived in Hawaii. He used to always come out for the Ilani Classic.
That's right. Now, so what we have left standing in the city section is only Fairfax and Westchester.
Yeah.
They're the only teams left standing in the city section.
Well, is that surprising? I mean, they're from the Western League.
Well,
the number one league.
Yeah, you're right, Coach. But why it's surprising is El Camino, was a top seed.
And beat Westchester last week.
And they beat Westchester. And El Camino was the second? No, the fourth seed in the open division. So, I mean, you'd think they'd still be there. I think it is surprising. I'll tell you why. Because Fairfax and Westchester both went on the road and beat a higher seeded team.
Right.
I think it is surprising.
Them handily, not just squeaked out wins. They beat them went out there and beat them handily,
but
against two good teams.
They're very good programs with a history, and when you have a history of accomplishing things, it's not surprising to go on a road and be able and have confidence in yourself.
Well, it's not something that they've never done before.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. So
well, what I would argue with you guys is that it's generally they're playing at home, though. That's the difference, is that because they are great programs, generally they've got home games, not road games. And so I don't know when Westchester, we'd have to ask Coach Azam, when's the last time they went on the road and had to play on the road and win a state playoff game. Usually they're at home. Right. And Fairfax is too most of the time. So, but congratulations again to Fairfax. They blew out MLK out in Riverside 63-48. Shout out to Sage Woodruff and the rest of the team. Shout out to Coach Catani. Congratulations. And if you guys are listening, call the show. Tell us about the game. 1-800-893-9562.
I'll tell you a little bit.
Number.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll tell you a little bit about the game, which I saw. Which was the last. Brings us into our last game. So Tuesday night. Okay, now you're going to tell us though. Before you do, you're going to tell us the next game in Division I. The last game is going to be who? The last game is Mission Viejo out of San Juan Capistrano against Loyola High School from the southern section in downtown LA.
Okay, and you were at that. You were at Loyola's game, first round game against Palisades. Okay,
and it was a blowout. It was never close.
Wow.
Loyola just jumped out on them. Palisades hit the first 3-pointer, and next thing you knew, Loyola was up 18-3.
Is that right?
Loyola lost their their point guard probably about a month ago now, Cartwright. He's going to Arizona next year. And he's good, but I've seen Loyola play. They're not too far from my house. I live in Pasadena, so they're not, it takes me about a half hour to get there.
Now, wait, hold on. You shouldn't be telling people where you live. You know that we have stalkers on this show,
well,
Chris.
Okay. They're not stalking me. The one they're stalking isn't here tonight, so
Okay. Now, Coach Johnson, seriously, Chris, tell him. We have stalkers on this show. We have people that call in, change their voices and their names, their phone numbers. We also have people that wait outside the studio sometimes. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not worried. They're not after me. So, but so I've seen Loyola play about 4 times this year, and the point guard that left the team is good. But this kid, Max Hazard, who's Walt Hazard's grandson, he's
Very
incredible to me. Oh my
player.
God, he's such a good player. I mean, I just love watching him play. Which is another reason why I keep going to their games, because I mean, to me, Loyola is a really good, really fundamentally sound team, and I just enjoy watching them play. And they also have a kid that's a senior this year, Khalil Gianni.
Jumps out the gym.
Oh my God!
I like real and waiting.
I had texted a former teammate of ours that played for Coach Miller, that played on my team, on our state championship team, and I told him, I said, I think this kid is top 5. And I named 5, so it was top 6. I mean, just jumping out the gym that I have ever seen in my life. Like high school kids that I've ever seen in my life. And I told him, so he was like, top 5, are you sure? I said, okay, I'm going to name them. That I've seen personally play in high school was Josh Smith and Rajon Rando. I seen both of them play in high school, and they were both, hopping out the gym. Chris Mills, when he was at Fairfax.
No.
Oh, Chris Smith.
I remember Chris.
He was hopping.
He was hopping, but you going to put this guy with Chris?
You can't.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, this kid is, you got to, coach, you got to see this kid.
Okay.
I mean, they list him as 6'6". He's not 6'6". He's probably 6'3". I'm 6'2", and he's not that much taller than me. I give him 6'4" at the most. But I mean,
6'3".
Man, yeah, exactly. But, I mean, I've just seen him, even in warm-ups, I've just seen him out the gym with it. You know what I mean? Mitchell Butler was the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mitchell Butler was...
Now, he played when you were playing for me, I think.
He played when I was playing for you. He graduated the year before I graduated.
Right.
But we never played him. I played him my freshman year. We played against his team, Oakwood, in the quarterfinals of the CIF tournament that year.
They beat you, right?
Yeah, his junior year, my freshman year, my freshman year.
Was he 2 years?
2 years ahead of me.
I got you.
And I love to tell the story, but I hate to tell the story. So I'm a freshman. He's a junior.
Uh-oh. I think Coach Johnson, I think someone got dunked on.
No, I didn't get dunked on.
I think someone got dunked on.
I never got dunked on. He got a dunk, but he didn't get it on me. But they beat us 55-48.
Okay.
And the reason why that stands out, he scored 50 of their 55 points.
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't be talking about that.
No. Well,
that's not cool.
It stands out to me.
That definitely
loss,
stands out.
I can count on hands and toes how many games I lost in my high school career. It wasn't a whole lot of them.
Well, how many did you lose the 2 years you played for me?
We only lost 5 the 2 years I played for you.
We were 58-5
over 2 years.
Well, I'm a little older, so I'm going to throw Big Poley in there.
Yeah, he could jump.
Okay, I seen him play, but I don't remember him because I was so much younger. Now, he is a good friend of mine now.
Okay.
But I don't remember him.
He can jump. Okay, hold on now. We got a call. Let me take this call. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? This is Sage Woodruff.
Sage Woodruff. Hey, Chris, Coach Johnson, I conjured him up. I was giving him a shout-out in Fairfax High School.
And he called up.
Sage, were you listening to the show?
Yes, I was.
So did you hear that? Did you hear how we were pumping up Fairfax and Westchester, especially Fairfax? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
That was a great win. Tell us about it.
The win over King?
Yeah, tell us about it. You blew them out. You beat them by 15.
Yeah, we just went in with the mindset that, this is all or nothing. We got to go in their house. We got to, we got to play. Because we've had previous problems where, one person, we don't stay together through the entire 32 minutes. And so we just went in with the mindset, like, this is all or nothing. This could be our last time playing together. So we had some guys step up big that night. Elisa Nwachi being one of them. And we had Donald Gibson, Lauren Curry, Lindsey Drew. Just basically all of our main players bringing their A game, and we got the win.
Well, when you've got those guys bringing their A game, you're going to win. I mean,
it's going to be tough to beat.
Was that? Let me ask you a question. Was that your best game of the season, do you think?
I honestly think it was my best overall game of the season.
Okay. For you personally, it was your best game because
I stepped up a part of my game that been sort of lacking the entire season, which was my rebounding.
Okay.
I had, I think, 9 or 10 rebounds.
Nice.
And I think that changed the face of the game.
Nice. And you're a guard. If our listeners don't know, you're a guard. You're a big guard, but you're a guard. And one of the rules I have, Sage, all of our players hear it all the time. Is I say this: if you don't rebound, it means you don't want to win. It's that simple. And so if you don't rebound, you don't want to win. I mean, you've got to be competitive to win. You got to be competitive to rebound. So did you have a triple-double in the game with, almost, huh? 9 rebounds. How many points?
16 points.
How many assists?
I had about 5 assists, I think.
Okay. So
well on his way.
Yeah, you're on your way. You didn't quite get the triple-double, but you can get it. Right. You can get it this week. You can get it tomorrow.
Against Corona, yep.
Yeah, Corona Centennial, right?
Yeah.
So you're going back out almost the same place. Isn't that almost where you was just at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what.
Going back out to Riverside.
Community.
Yeah, you were just in Riverside, right? With MLK was in Riverside, and now you're going right back out there. Centennial. That's right near Riverside, right?
Right.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, at least you know where to go now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you guys have a lot of fans come, Sage, or not?
Well, we had a lot of people that, we did have a lot of fans, but we had a lot of parents that came a long ways. Basically came the same distance we did, but we came on the charter bus, so they came a little bit after us. So, yeah, we had a lot of support.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Did your family come, Sage?
Yeah, my mom and dad and little brother came.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So when you play, do you look around in the stands and see if your mom is there, or your dad, or your little brother, or do you just get zoned in on the game and you don't even look in the stands?
Well, typically, I always before every game, I take my mom in the crowd and I wink at her. That's just like my signal, it's go time. And I try not to look at her after that. But one dude I do look for all the time is my pops. That's like my coach off the floor. He's like my personal head coach because he's the one that put the ball in my hands, the one that to work with me, all of that. So.
Oh, okay.
That's my guy.
Okay, gotcha. So you like it when your pops is there and your mom is there to support you?
Yeah, I like it when my parents are there because I know my pops is going to always, because, there's going to be the people that's like, Sage, you had a great game. We just, couldn't do no wrong. And then there's my dad who's going to give me the real report. He's going to tell me I had a good game, but he's going to tell me what I could have done better as well.
Yeah.
Give you what you did wrong in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's sometimes better than knowing what you did right.
Yeah, it is, because you can correct it.
Right.
One step further towards playing a perfect game of basketball.
Yeah, see, my thing on that, I'll share with Coach Johnson because he's here. We've got Coach Johnson from Washington High School in studio tonight. We're excited to have him here. We're going to talk about the Generals in a little bit after we cover this playoff action. But one thing that I like to share with Coach Johnson and with you, Sage, is that people don't need to tell you what you did right because you already know what you did right. I mean, if you play good, you don't need someone to tell you played good. You already know you played good. You know what you did good, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So what you need is actually what your pops is doing. You need someone to tell you what you didn't do good and what you need to improve in. You don't need someone to tell you what you did good. You already know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anyway, that's what moms are for. Anyway, to tell you what you do.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, mom's going to tell.
They play bad cop, good cop all the time.
Oh, is that what they do?
Yeah.
Okay,
My
good.
mom will be like, you had a good game. Don't worry, don't let your dad. And then, he comes in and he's like, well, you could have done this, you could have done that, and it would have been better.
Okay, I got you. Well,
Right.
I tell you what, I'm excited for you guys. I'm really happy for you. I'm excited for Westchester. Last week we had Westchester here in the studio, and we had Cameron Young in. Do you know Cameron?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Cameron in studio, and that's my guy, Cameron. He's a good young man. He's got hops. He plays hard. He's
a formidable foe for sure.
Oh,
he always
yeah.
gives us problem on the board.
Yeah, he goes to war now, and so and so I'm really happy for you guys and see you guys still winning and playing. So big game tomorrow for our listeners. Fairfax is at Centennial. I think the game's at 6:00, Chris.
6:00. Yep.
Is that right, Sage? 6:00?
Yeah.
6:00 Saturday at Centennial in Corona. And I was just asking Coach Johnson what game is he going to go to tomorrow. I know where he's going Tuesday night. Tuesday night, Coach Johnson's going to the Redondo-Westchester game. But I'm saying, where are you going tomorrow, Coach Johnson? What are you thinking now?
So many games to pick from.
Are you going to go see Fairfax, or is that too far to drive for you?
No, it's not. It's going to be a great game. I might take that ride.
Or maybe Long Beach Poly Mayfair? You're not sure yet?
I'd rather see Fairfax from the city.
Yeah, you know how I feel. I'm going to support the city teams and the city student athletes and coaches. So, hey, while we have Sage on the line before we let him go, congratulations, Sage. I understand that you were selected to play in the Los Angeles Classic April 5th.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
My show is the primary sponsor of the event, so we talk about it. We've been talking about it for a couple weeks on our show, and it's a big event. It's not. Notice I say event, not a game or whatever, because it's an event. It's a banquet, awards ceremony, and then there's 3 games. There's the first game is the Valley versus the South, and so the second game is the East Side versus the West Side. So Sage is on the West Side team, and I'm not at liberty to announce. It hasn't been publicly announced. All of the players and all of the teams, they have been selected. But certain players that I know that have been selected, if they call in the show or they're listening and they call in, I can tell you. So Sage has been selected, and
nice.
So I want to give him congratulations for that.
Congratulations, Sage.
Congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And so we're excited about that event April 5th, and that's going to be a big event. So, Sage, good luck tomorrow. Thanks for calling in. We really appreciate you listening and calling in, and I'm going to let you go, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate it all, man.
Let's go Fairfax.
Go Fairfax. Okay, so I got another call here, I think. Jeremy, do I have another call? I see calls waiting. Okay, I got you. So let me see what I got. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, this is Brandon Crawford.
Brandon Crawford, a Washington General.
BC.
Okay. Why aren't you here tonight?
I couldn't make it down there tonight.
Oh, okay.
Chris, usually you question a little harder than that. I mean, I couldn't make it down here. I mean, Chris, what's? I mean, you're gonna let him off with that?
Yeah. So what are you doing? What was so important that you couldn't come down?
I have some stuff to do.
Such as? Our listeners want to know.
Personal stuff.
Personal stuff. Homework?
Yeah.
Homework?
That and some other things.
Oh, okay. Brandon's being like real vague with you, Chris.
Yeah.
He's like.
Because my next question is it a girlfriend?
No.
Yeah, I heard that little smirk before that.
A politician in waiting.
Well, Brandon, I'm going to take you off the hook, so I'll start asking you different questions. So, but Coach Johnson's here, and we're going to have our shows. Is going to be a lot about the Washington Generals tonight. So I'm glad you called in, And our phone number, again, is 1-800-893-9562. Brandon Crawford, one of my favorite players from the city. Brandon has been selected to play in the Los Angeles Classic April 5th. Brandon, congratulations.
Thank you.
And you already got your invitation, I heard, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got back-to-back calls, Chris. We've got Sage Woodruff from Fairfax and Brandon Crawford from Washington that have already been invited to play in the Los Angeles Classic April 5th. And it's great to have these kind of callers call in and for us to be able to kind of break the news on the air. So, Brandon, are you excited about playing in this huge event? I mean, this is going to be a big event. The teams are really, really strong. I mean, you're on the South team, and you guys play the Valley team. The Valley team has 4 players from El Camino on the team. They just won the city championship. I mean, you're going to have your hands full. You think you're ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm very, very excited for this.
Okay.
You sound excited.
It's going to be a big event. So I'll bet you that I can predict that your mother and sister and, other family members will be there to watch you play, huh?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I thought you was gonna pick a winner, Coach.
Okay. No, I'm not gonna pick in that game. I can't because my show is sponsoring the game. I can't pick. Hey, Brandon, tell us a little bit about Coach Johnson and what it was like to play for him this year.
Oh,
Yeah, it was good. We got him late. It was really good.
Coach Johnson came in. He got hired late. I think he did a remarkable job. And you guys had some big wins down the stretch. You guys beat Narbonne, right?
Right.
Okay. You beat them at the house, right?
Yeah.
Then you beat University High School from the Western League. You beat them in the playoffs. You were down late. You came back and won.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had some big wins down the stretch. I mean, really some big wins. And we have to credit Coach Johnson and his leadership and his coaching because, I don't think anyone expected that this year. I thought people probably thought, Washington's going to be sorry or something or down, and you guys weren't. Now, I'm going to give you a lot of credit too, Brandon, because I saw you guys play a couple of times, and I know how good you are, and I know how good you can be. And I'll give you a lot of credit too, and your teammates. But
thank you.
Tell me about Coach Johnson. What did he do to come in and help you guys win so much? Because you guys had a great Coach Johnson. What was the final record on the season?
The final record was 20-12. We finished the regular season 19-10.
That's right. And 20-win season. 20-win season. Chris, 20-win season, his first year at the helm.
And coming in late.
Yeah. Was this your first varsity head coaching job?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
So he's a rookie head coach. Now, he's coached before, but he's a rookie head coach. Got the job late. Brandon, what did Coach Johnson bring to the table that helped you guys have such a great year?
Well, it didn't start off as well, but once we bought into his system, that's when we started getting more wins and stuff.
Okay. So tell us about his system. What is Coach Johnson's system about or like? I mean, tell us what you all bought into.
Well, he wanted us to play downhill, more of a quick break team, and play inside out. Okay, play inside out. Once we started doing that, we start getting more wins down the stretch and everything.
Well, Coach, it's hard. It's easy to do that when you have a player talented as Brandon and other players as talented as they were.
Yeah, you have 2 young kids, guards, that are really good. Tell us about them. What are their names?
Daryl Howard, we have Jalen Gilmore, and then we have Kari White.
That's right. Kari White's good. Jalen's really good. But the key to this team was Brandon. Brandon was the difference maker. He was the big man inside. Chris, this kid, Brandon Crawford, you're going to hear about him. He blocks shots. How many shots do Brandon block a game, Coach, do you think? 5, 6, 7?
I would say about 8.
About 8?
8 blocks a game. Wow,
He
Brandon.
owes the record at Washington for career triple-doubles. And that was held by one of your former players, Joseph Taylor.
Is that right? Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Well, Joseph Taylor.
And he's getting a hard triple-double because he's getting his in block shots.
Yeah, he is.
Not assists.
Right.
Well, Joseph got his in block shots, too. Joseph's still a pro.
Right.
Joseph's still a pro. And Brandon, if Brandon will work as hard as Joseph, Brandon is a little bit more skilled than Joseph at the same age.
Yeah.
I had Joseph at 17, 18 years old. And Brandon doesn't work as hard as Joseph right now. Okay? If Brandon will work as hard as Joseph, then Brandon will be a pro just like Joseph. First, he'll have to be a Division I player just like Joseph was.
Right.
After Joseph left me, he went Division I. He played at a very high level. He played in the Mountain West Conference, and he was all conference too. So he wasn't just like a role player. He was a player. And Coach Johnson, do you agree with me? Am I the only one who sees Brandon as a Division I player? I know a lot of people thought he was NAIA or D2. I see him as a Division I player.
Well, you're not the only one no more. His recruitment has picked up lately.
Oh, good.
And we have Mountain West, Big West, Big Sky schools that are interested.
Good.
So you're not the only one anymore.
Good. That's great. Well, Brandon, I appreciate you calling in, and I'm really glad that you got the opportunity this year to play for Coach Johnson. I think that what you do next year in your future is going to really set you up a long way if you can get things going the right way for yourself. Okay. So,
hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
How's your grades?
My grades?
Yeah.
Very good. I think our 10 week just went in today. The grade window just opened.
The new grading period just started?
Yeah, well, no, like to put in the grades.
Oh, okay. So what do you think you're going to come in at?
I should have probably a 3 point, 3, 4.
Okay, well, I heard 3 point. I was happy with whatever number it was after the point.
After the point, yeah, that's a good point, Chris. Hey, Brandon has got some work to do, and I know that he and his mother and stuff are on that, and
nice.
He's got some stuff to make up and stuff, but he's going to do that, right, Brandon?
Right.
Okay, so do what you got to do in school to make it happen, and thank you for calling in, Brandon.
Keep up the good work.
We'll see you April 5th, if not sooner. Okay.
Okay.
All right then.
First year playing varsity basketball this year.
Crazy story.
How tall is it?
6'7".
Wow.
6'7", 6'8". Yeah. We got another call. Caller. Hold on. Let me bump him up. Got a lot of calls tonight. Caller, you're on the air. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air. Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, they were second.
You there? Caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Coach Miller?
I am doing good. Is this Westchester?
Yes, it is.
Westchester High School. Marlon Morton, congratulations.
Congrats.
If you've been listening to the show, we was really pumping you up.
No, we just got off the bus. It was a good win. It was a great win, actually.
Was it the best game you played all year?
Yeah, actually it was.
Nice.
Cameron played. Cameron won the game for us. He rebounded, blocked shot, defended. He hit 2 or 3 threes. No, I think he hit 4 threes. That was the best game he played.
Well,
a real hostile environment too.
I'll bet. Was it a packed house?
Yeah, packed house.
Yeah, those fans at JW North are vicious out there.
You know
Say that
what?
again, I'm sorry.
I said those fans out there at in Riverside at JW North. That's they're always have a pretty good team. They have a good program out there, and their fans come out in droves and support.
Oh yeah, they when we pulled up, they had a long line, like a city block long line. People were sitting in chairs in the front. I guess they had been there so long.
Wow.
But
then Marlon, what I said was you guys were the number 7 seed. You went on the road. Now you've been around Westchester a long time. Now, Chris and Coach Johnson was talking about blah, blah, blah. And I said, wait a second. This is the only time I remember Westchester have to go on the road in the state tournament so early. I mean, y'all usually win your games at home. Is this the biggest road win? I mean, you've been at Westchester a long time. I know Coach Azam would know, but, I mean.
You know, when I told Coach, this was the funny part, because Leon was playing really, really well, and then he turned his ankle. And Miles Stewart didn't play, so we were real limited. And I told Coach, I was like, after the game, I said, this is the best coaching job since I've been here. This one game, this one particular game, because we practiced what they did, and we switched everything, and everything was clicking. You know, it was like everything that we worked on during the week, they did it to perfection, you know, and North just, I guess they just couldn't figure it out because we were switching everything, you know, big. We were switching our little on little and big on bigs, and they ran the UCLA offense, so we just switched everything.
Great strategy. Great strategy. I'm not surprised. You guys always have a great strategy. But I tell you what, we was kind of like down on you because last week we had you on the air and we had you in studio. Coach Johnson and I were chuckling about it. It's the first time we had a team come in or a coach and lose the next game. You all
broke
really broke our streak, really let us down. And then we looked for the scores tonight and we said, wow, Westchester wins on the road. Not only do they win, they beat them by 18 points. And they were the number 2 seed.
Yeah. You know, it was funny because the game, actually, we jumped on them early. Akil Reese was hitting jumpers. Elijah naturally was hitting jumpers. And Leon came in there. He played totally different than he played last week. Because this whole week, you know, it was like I kept telling him that was the worst he played. And so this whole week he was real focused because he knew last week he had played so bad, and he felt that the whole week. So he really concentrated. And then he played, and then he went to get a rebound, and guy fell on him, just twisted his ankle real bad. And so he tried to come back, but he couldn't. But by that time, first quarter, we were up. I think we were up by like 10.
Nice. You know, Chris, I may be wrong, and maybe Marlon knows. I think it's the first game Riverside North lost all year on the court. I think they had a couple of forfeits, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I don't think they lost any games on the court. I think the games they lost were forfeits. Does that sound right, Marlon?
I think so. They had lost only 3 games.
But I think I want to say,
and the ones they did lose were to forfeit.
Am I right?
Wow.
Yeah, in the tournament.
I think they lost. They lost them out of day last week too. They lost them out of day by 2.
Yeah.
Okay, that's their only loss then. The Mater Day game was their only loss until tonight.
Court. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they took us for granted too. You know, they came out They came out like how we came out against El Camino, I think.
Okay.
Thinking that, you know, the game's won and you know, and they saw films of us play last week, so they thought, you know, they thought
they thought you guys weren't any good. They didn't realize. Now, last week I was so disappointed. I was with you after the game, and I talked to Coach Azam for a few minutes after the game, and I was so disappointed for you guys. You know, I'm going to wear my red for Westchester, and I'm going to show up, so I'm not going to, you know, mince words about that. I was so disappointed when you all lost. And, you know, El Camino got beat tonight. Did you know that?
Somebody just told us that. They got beat by 20.
Yeah.
at their spot.
No, they didn't get beat by 20. Etiwanda 61, El Camino 54 at El Camino.
Okay.
And
okay.
And you know who you play next Tuesday, right?
Redondo.
At Redondo.
At Redondo. Reggie texted us while we were on the bus. He wanted to exchange films. And Reggie's like my little brother. I love Reggie to death, right? But I'm glad he didn't text me. He texted our film guy, and our film guy told us, and I just started laughing.
I already know Coach Azam's going to say no to that one.
Yeah, we're always happy today because last week you remember we was walking away from the game.
Yeah.
And you wanted to give me that ride. I said, man, I gotta walk and think.
Yeah.
That was a heartbreaker last week.
Oh man, Marlon, I felt so bad for you guys. I mean, you to get there and get on that stage and you guys didn't play good. I mean, and and like you said about Leon didn't play good. I mean, he played bad, and it's great to hear that he played great tonight. But special shout out, like you were saying about Cameron Young, my guy, your guy, and we had him in studio last week, Chris. Cameron had 18 and 12 rebounds tonight, Marlon? Is that right?
Yeah, wow. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, he balled.
Double.
Yeah.
18 and 12 rebounds.
They had no answer
for him
at all.
He
he went to the basket.
Yeah.
He caught Elijah missed the layup and he followed it up, but Elijah got fouled and he slammed it. That place went crazy after that.
Yeah.
I think that was like demoralizing to that team because it was like one of them pro dunks when you or Blake Griffin or Vince Carter, like back in the days type dunks. So it was like, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to tell you now, I'm just so happy for you guys, Marlon, and I'm happy for Cameron. Special shout out to Cameron Young and his family. I'm sure his family was there.
Way to go, Cam.
And
they were there.
Yeah, he's got a good family. I like his mom and his stepdad, his brothers, good people. So, I'm really, really happy for you. Are you guys ready for, before we let you go, we got to ask you about Redondo Union. You played them early in the year.
Yeah, that was one of the games when we were up by 16. Remember I was telling you one time when we was talking about they had learned the killer instinct. We were up by 16 in the fourth quarter and lost by 1. So this is like a revenge game. And then plus Reggie, we're so close with Reggie. Me and Reggie, we hang out. So we should be okay. I'm not overconfident. I'm not underconfident. This should be a good game. I mean, if we play our game, if we play like we played tonight, and then like I said, we didn't have Miles Stewart and we didn't have Leon, but people stepped up. Ellis, the other little guard, he stepped up. He played major minutes.
Well, I was going to ask you why you didn't have Ellis. Was it Ellis didn't play? Who didn't?
Ellis or Miles.
Oh, Miles. Miles didn't play. Why didn't Miles play tonight?
He said his knee was messed up, so he said he couldn't go. So
really,
like, okay. So it was like he did that. Like last week, he said his knee during the course of the game. He said his knee was hurt, so he has to come out. So he didn't come in, today, and it was like, he said.
So
he said my knee is hurt and I can't play.
So he didn't play at all?
No, not at all. He didn't even suit up.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Wow!
That's crazy.
Yeah, but we played well though, and Redondo, they're a good team, really, really good team, and it's gonna be a hard fought game. They rip and run like we do. They press. They got the big kid inside, and they got some good guards. They're well coached. Basically they coach. They're like us, because Reggie plays for coach. So,
well, I'm really happy for you. Before we let you go, I'm gonna give you one other bit of news that something that is near and dear to both of our hearts. We want to give a little score here. This is right in from the Big West tournament. Cal State Northridge 61, Long Beach State 59.
Whoa!
I talked to Reggie today. Well, I texted him. We texted each other today. And I texted him and he told him good luck, right? I told him it was a good win yesterday. And he texted me back, the same thing. And I told him, I said, y'all go ahead and beat them. That's good. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, but it may not be over. That may not be a final score. But we're not sure yet if that's a final. Chris is going to find out for us. But if it's not a final, it's late in the game, and they're up. And Chris, is that a final?
I'm looking it up right now.
But they, if they win, and they may have won already. I don't know. But if they win, Marlon, they'll be playing to go to the NCAA tournament tomorrow. And if that's the case, I think you and I are probably going to be there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations tonight on what you guys did. It's a great effort, and give my best to all the Comets. And
all right, really appreciate it. Thanks for your support too, man. That means a lot.
Yeah, I'm here for y'all. And by the way, I want to tell you that if you aren't doing anything tomorrow, come on by. Text me off the air, and we got a couple workouts going on. And so if you're not doing anything tomorrow, come on by, and we'll hang out a little bit in the gym. Okay?
Okay. Oh, the new gym?
Yeah.
Yeah, new spanking new gym?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
The Mike Miller Pavilion? Is that what we're going to call it?
No, because I would never do that. I would not name a school after myself or a gym after myself.
Why not?
I just wouldn't do that.
Okay,
we'll call it M&M Pavilion then.
Coach Marlon, real quick, it's not final yet, but we got Long Beach State up over Cal State Northridge, 65-63, with 6 minutes left to go in the game.
Okay.
Oh, 6 minutes? Oh, okay.
Yeah, 6 minutes left to go.
Okay.
Okay. That's going to be a good one.
Okay.
So again, thanks for your support, man. I really appreciate it. And
good luck to you
it was
guys.
a good win today. We're all happy. So we're going to be riding the bus home. It's sad, so we were laughing and having fun on the bus.
Nice.
Good luck to you guys on Tuesday.
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say power moves only. PMO.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, Coach. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Take care.
Okay. All right. Hey, Jeremy, let's take a short break since we've had this string of calls. We haven't played any commercials. Let's get a couple commercials in. When we come back, we're going to focus on the Washington Generals.
What's the number to call?
This is Coach Miller from Time Out with Coach Miller. I'm here excited to tell you about Medicus Graphics Center located in Los Angeles, California. Medicus is the official printer and graphic designer of Time Out with Coach Miller. Medicus does a tremendous job for any printing need from big to small, whether you want to print a book or a 4-color poster or business cards. Go see my friends at Medicus Graphics Center in Los Angeles, California, located at 2030 Hyperion Avenue. Tell them Coach Miller sent you. Medicus will take care of you like they've taken care of me.
16 made a dream with this basketball. Coach Miller on the court and we going hard. Pass the rock to the paint. I give it my all or be like Chris Paul. Shoot the 3-point, y'all. Look, it's Time Out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships. We winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling. Cause all I know is win and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss.
Hey, it's Coach Miller. You're listening to my show, Time Out with Coach Miller. I want to talk to you today about my favorite car dealership located in beautiful Hollywood, California. It's called Gem Motors. Gem Motors is located at 5639 West Sunset Boulevard. If you want a high-end automobile that's at a great price, whether it's a BMW, a Mercedes, a Jaguar, or a Porsche, go to my friends at Gem Motors. They have a beautiful indoor dealership located at 5639 West Sunset Boulevard, right across from Home Depot. Go see my friends at Gem Motors. Tell them Coach Miller sent you and get a special discount. The phone number is area code 323-962-9696. 323-962-9696.
Look, it's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships, we winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling, cause all I know is win and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss.
Hey, we're back. We're live. Welcome back to Time Out with Coach Miller. We are excited, Chris, to be here tonight. Sans Scott Schultz, but we've got Jeremy in the sound booth. And
Jeremy was saying
Jeremy's there. He's holding down the fort. We didn't have many commercials there. We'll probably get in trouble for that, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. And then we've got Chris Maxwell, a diagonal from me, holding down the fort. He used to hold down the fort in the paint, Coach Johnson. He was a double-double guy. He'd hold down that fort. He'd get some boards and play dirty and play rough in there. He was kind of like Jeff Ruland or Rick Mahorn. And
I wasn't that big back then. Did you see the picture that I posted the other day of all of us?
I did.
That was a throwback right there. I'll show you the picture tonight. That brought back a whole lot of memories.
You got to show Coach Johnson that picture.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, and I'm excited. We got Coach Johnson, Nolan Johnson from Washington High School. Coach, let me give out our phone number. It's 1-800-893-9562. That number again is 1-800-893-9562. If you have a question for Coach Johnson, you want to talk Washington General basketball, you should call in, and we'll definitely get you on the air. And we've had some good calls already tonight, Chris, some really good calls.
Yeah, we had a couple of players call in. We had Coach Marlon call in from Westchester. It was really good to hear from him, especially, like he said, that bus ride was pretty fun because they won tonight. So it would have been a lot different if they would have lost. So I'm happy that they got that win and move on to play Tuesday night.
That's right. That's right. So, Coach Johnson, tell us a little bit about the season. You guys won 20 games.
It's really a credit to the players and their ability to buy in and apply what they've learned in the gym. Coming together the way they did was just nothing short of remarkable for them. We started out slow. We went to the Westchester tournament, and I think it was more. We competed very well. I think it was just none of these guys had varsity experience.
Wow.
And going into a tournament like that, you already come in with your eyes wide open, but then they're competed at that high level. So we were going to do one or two things. We were going to learn from it, or we were going to get burnt up by it. So they learned from it.
Well, I saw you guys play early. I saw you play Pioneer High School over in El Monte or somewhere.
Right.
I saw them play early, Chris, and Pioneer beat them.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they did.
And the coach from Pioneer played for me. I don't know if you knew that.
Coach Gilmore, shout out.
And he played for me, and I had him for 3 years. He had Coach Gilmore has a really unique distinction in that he played for Coach Willie West at Crenshaw, and then he played for me at LA City College. And so he played for 2 of the 5 winningest coaches in the history of California.
Right.
For high school basketball. Because actually I think I'm 3rd or 4th in the history of the state for winning percentage for high school, and Coach West is like 1 or 2 spots behind me.
Right. I think when we looked it up tonight, I think you were 3rd and he was 5th.
Yeah, I think you're right. And you know who first is, right?
Yeah, Gary McKnight at Matter Day.
Yeah, no one's
McKnight.
Yeah, no one's gonna ever catch him because he's like about 92% or something crazy. He's 90. He's like 92.
I think he barely has So he's been there probably, 20-something years now? Right. I don't even think he has 100 losses yet.
Yeah, he's got
if he does, he just barely 96, 95.
But the thing is, Chris, he's like in the low 90s, 91, 92%. Yeah. And like the rest of us that are in the top 10
are in the
80s. But I'm the high 80s. I think I'm 88% or something like that. I mean, which is very good. I mean, like it's third or fourth in the history of California high school basketball, percentage wise. But Coach Gilmore played for me and for Willie West, so he actually played for two of the winningest high school coaches ever. Now, it's been a long time since I coached high school, but I'll tell you what, I saw a lot of high school games this year, more than I've ever seen.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Not to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say because I saw a lot too.
Okay. Where do you see the difference when you were coaching high school as opposed to now?
Well, there weren't as many high schools, so it was a little more competitive because there were better players, more focused on fewer teams. So, for example, like the team that Chris played on for me for 2 years, I mean, we were a very, very good team. I mean, we beat teams. We were the first team in a smaller level to win a state championship from Southern California. And we beat teams that were much higher level than us, like Division I and II teams.
We were the first team ever, the first small school team ever to win a game in the Watts Summer League.
Wow.
You know, and back then, like in the late 80s, early 90s, you know, the Watts Summer League was a big tournament.
Yeah.
And we beat Venice. We beat one other team. We lost to Long Beach Poly.
We beat Sarah.
Yeah.
We beat
Venice
Sarah.
And we beat Sarah. And then
we lost to like Long Beach Poly.
And we only lost to them by like 4 or 5, and that's when they had Tyus City and Willie McGinnis.
Okay.
So it was different because, like, if you look at Long Beach Poly then and look at them now, I mean, they had better players then. Okay, I mean, and you look at Crenshaw then, and you look at now. I mean, now a lot of the kids that are not at Crenshaw are at other schools. And 20, 30 years ago, Coach Johnson, all those kids would have been at Crenshaw. So naturally, Crenshaw was better then because, you know, you didn't have West Adams, you didn't have View Park, you didn't have, I can go on and on, all those schools that didn't exist. You know, you had the traditional schools. You had Washington, you had Crenshaw, you had Dorsey, you had Westchester, you had Manual Arts, you had Fremont. You know, you had, you know, of course, others, but you didn't have, you know, Rancho Dominguez and you didn't have View Park. And those are good teams. Yeah. I mean, Rancho Dominguez is a good team with good players. And View Park is a good team with good players. Those student athletes would have been at a Washington or at a Crenshaw or at a Dorsey. And now they're not. So that's one of the big differences.
I think for me, the two biggest differences are, I mean, I've coached and I played for him. Like now you have a lot more players that are going to smaller schools. Like when we played, you know, like I told Coach, and we talked about it with Coach
Mike Lynch.
Yeah.
From Price. He was on the show.
He was on the show. And we were telling them that, you know, you had Mitchell Butler at Oakwood. You had us at Rebay after that, you know, and we all could have played at bigger schools.
Right.
But we just ended up playing at a smaller school. For whatever reason brought us to that school, we played for that school. Then after us, you had Baron Davis at Crossroads. And then you just had a whole influx of, you know, these really good players playing.
It was different. Now, that's a great question that Coach Johnson asked. Now, we'll get back to that in a little bit more detail in a second. We got a call. Jeremy, we got a call. Can you put the caller through? Caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
This is Cameron from Westchester.
Cameron from Westchester. We were just talking about you, Cameron from Westchester.
Okay.
You had a good game tonight.
Great game.
Yeah.
We're so proud of you, but you know you did something wrong last week. We had you on the show live in studio, and we had your coach. We had Marlon in here with you, and we've never had a team or a coach lose the next game when they've been in studio. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know.
You guys broke our winning streak. Because y'all went and you lost the city championship game the next night to El Camino.
Yeah.
So that was we were not happy about that. But we were so happy tonight when Chris started going through the scores. And at first he didn't have your score. And then we got the score. And I said, wow, y'all went in on the road. And
Riverside.
We heard that it was a big crowd. When you pulled up, their line was around the block. Is that right?
Yeah, it was a packed house.
Packed house. And you pull in, and you go in there. They're the number 2 seed, and you beat them by 18 points. How did that happen?
Well, we didn't play defense last game, so we was pressing the whole game, got some steals, and got some wide open layups.
Oh, okay. And did you have any dunks tonight, Cameron?
I had one dunk. Elijah threw me a lob off the backboard, but they called it back.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I understand that you had 18 points. What we said on the air was you had 18 points and 12 rebounds. Does that sound about right?
It sounds about right to me.
Okay. Well, I bet if I asked your family members, they would know.
Mm-hmm.
They were all there?
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, I wanted to go and watch you guys because I support you and I support Westchester. I support all the city teams. We've got Washington High School in here tonight, and we're talking about what a great job Coach Nolan Johnson did in his first year there. And we're talking about Brandon Crawford and some of the young guards they have. And, Brandon called the show earlier, and I just want to tell you that I wanted to be there, but it was so far away, I wouldn't have been able to get back to my show
in time.
In time for this to go on the air. We always have a pre-production meeting, and I have to be here about 9:30, and I wouldn't have made it back in time. But we had you call in, we had Coach Marlin call in. Tell us a little bit more about the game. Give us a little more insight so our listeners can hear what happened.
Well, before the game, Coach gave us like a little scouting report on them. Like they had a few decent guards, and he decided that we need to stay out on the shooters. So basically, we started off on defense, and that led our offense to get easy baskets.
Okay. So, how many block shots did you have tonight? Because I usually you block a lot of shots. I mean, you're active.
Yeah, I think I only had about 2 today.
Okay. That's not very many for you. Usually you get 4 or 5.
I don't know what's going on today.
Yeah, but you had a lot of points, though.
Mm-hmm.
You had more points tonight than normal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many points did you have?
18.
Okay.
There you go.
He knows.
He knew that.
Chris, he knew how many points he had.
Uh-huh.
Now ask him how many rebounds he had. We're not sure if he knows that.
How many boards did you have?
I'm not sure, but I know it's in the double digits.
Okay, so pretty much working on a double-double there.
Okay. And your birthday is coming up soon. Isn't your birthday next week?
My birthday's on the 24th.
Okay, well, let me see. Tomorrow is the 15th. So if you made it, well, let me see. If
they make it all the way, it'll be 3 days before his birthday. 2 days before his birthday.
No, I'm saying that if they beat Redondo, then they're going to play on the 22nd,
right?
The Southern Regional. That's 2 days before his birthday. And if they win that, they play the state championship on the 29th, which is 5 days after his birthday. So you might have something going on here, like some kind of birthday magic here.
I hope so.
I hope so, too. I mean, you guys deserve it. You guys work hard. And I told Coach Azam a couple of times this year, and I kind of try to cheer him up after the last game when y'all lost in the city finals. I told him, you know what? This is not one of the most talented teams I've ever seen at Westchester. But you guys have come such a long way from the beginning of the year to now. You guys have come a long way.
So are we picking a winner, Coach?
We might. Am I supposed to Chris, should I pick a winner right now? Are we talking about the Westchester game?
Yeah.
Hop out on that lamb.
Okay. I'm going to say Westchester goes on the road Tuesday night, and I'm going to be there for that. I'm going to say they go on the road, and they beat Redondo Union. There you go. They get some revenge.
Okay, I've seen Redondo Union play 3 times this year, and I've seen Westchester. I saw you guys on TV last week. I think I'm gonna go out on that same limb and say that Westchester, and I think it won't be as close as everybody thinks. I think they're gonna win by 10 at least.
Well, they're going to be the underdog. Just so we're clear, Westchester Cameron, you're going to be the underdog because you're going on the road. So just naturally, they're seated higher than you. Just like tonight, you beat the number 2 seed. They were seated higher than you. You were seated 7. You're going to go on the road, and you're going to play a team that's the number 3 seed. So they're going to be the favorite, and they'll be at home. But I think that you guys can come in and win that game. I think you will if you play hard and you play defense.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
So that's what's important right now. But we're going to be all pulling for you. We'll be there. We'll be there Tuesday night, and that game is at 7:00. And we're pulling for you in Fairfax because you're the only teams left from the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fairfax plays tomorrow. They play at 6:00. They play at Centennial Corona. And we actually had one of their players call in tonight. Sage Woodruff called the show earlier. Do you know Sage?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so he called the show earlier, and he's excited. They're doing well, too. So, again, congratulations, and we'll see you on Tuesday night, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Cameron. Good job. Okay, so we're back, and we want to get back with Coach Johnson here and talk a little bit more about what he's doing at Washington. And tell us about your young players, Coach. You've got some good young guards. Tell us about those guys.
We have Daryl Howard, Jalen Gilmore, and Corey White, and the sky's the limit for those guys. They came in and played really, really well this year. Pass, dribble, shoot the ball extremely well, and they have a very high basketball IQ.
Are they juniors?
Corey's a sophomore, Jalen is a junior, and Daryl's a junior.
Okay. So tell us about each one. Just take a minute and go over each guy, what they do well, and what makes them special. Just go. Let's start with the sophomore. Start with the youngest one.
Corey has a very good ability to pass the ball and make people around him better. He can stop on a dime and pick teams apart. Very quick, good first step. Jalen is a super athletic junior guard. I haven't measured his vertical leap yet, but can really shoot it, and he's a guy that can create his own shot.
Yeah. Jalen, I've seen him play. He's really athletic, like you said, really quick. And I know you really like him, and so do I. Our show, Chris, is sponsoring this Los Angeles Classic, and one of the elements of it, the late game on April 5th is what we call the top 24 underclassmen game.
Right.
And that game, the top 24 underclassmen game, there's no admission charge for that. It's free. Okay. And that's going to be the last event of the evening. And we're doing that on purpose because we want to follow what the state guidelines are. When you have underclassmen playing, you cannot charge admission if it's an all-star type of an event for the underclassmen. Okay? And if you do, then it's a problem. It's in the state CIF, rules.
Right.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
That's another topic for another show.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But we are following the rules.
Right.
And so that's the last event of the evening. So that game is no admission charge, but it's going to be the kind of the highlight game, if you will, because it's the top 24 best players in the city, underclassmen. And some of the big news coming on the show tonight is Coach Johnson has been selected to coach in that game. our very own Coach Nolan Johnson is been selected to coach in that game. So hey, we I don't know if I have any sound effects in here. I thought I did. Jeremy, I can't find any sound effects here of clapping or whistling or anything. I don't know where they are, but if you know where they are, you can tell me where they are. Jeremy's finding something here. He's finding it's not under Cinco de Mayo. It's not under karaoke. It's I don't know where it is, but he'll find it somewhere here. See, this is the thing is that Jeremy's really good with this stuff, and I'm not. So, but anyway, back to Coach Nolan Johnson's coaching this top 24 game, Chris, and we will have the best 24 underclassmen playing from the LA City section.
Sounds like it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah.
A good showcase for these kids.
And we're not.
Thank you for the honor.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
Honor.
It's awesome. It's a great honor, and I think it's something that, is going to be.
So how are they going to break up the teams for the underclassmen showcase? Are they going to break it up by East, West, by City, Valley, or?
Well, I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to have to ask. We have a manager, event organizer that is doing all that. I'm going to ask him how that's going to work for that top 24 game. Now, for the senior game, I can tell you how it's going to work. Right. I know is the first game is the South Bay area team. Hey, there's some applause. Hey, wait a second. That was just done at the wrong time too. Okay. Let me.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Go.
Well, no, before I do that, I want to just re-announce Coach Nolan Johnson's been selected to coach in the top 24 underclassmen game.
There you go.
There we go. And well-deserved applause. There you go. So the senior games are going to be the Valley against the South Bay region, South area region. And so that's the region that Washington is in. For that is the South region. So Brandon Crawford will be playing in that game. Now, then there'll be the East versus the West. Then there'll be a little intermission. Then there'll be the top 24 underclassmen game. Okay, now, the thing with that, Chris, your question's great, and I don't know the answer. I don't know how that's going to be divided up, but I know that Coach Johnson is coaching one of those teams.
Okay.
And so, we haven't been able to ascertain the list yet of the underclassmen. I saw the list today for the 4 senior teams. I saw that. And I don't know it by heart, but I saw it. And it has not been announced publicly, the list. But the underclassmen list I have not seen. So that's something that's going to come out probably later in the week, like midweek. And then, Coach Johnson will be one of the first people to know because he's one of the coaches. So anyway, that's what's going on.
So we might have to break that news next week and
that's the plan.
Announce everybody at one time.
That's the plan. Is on our show next Friday to announce the participants who've been invited to participate in this event. Not only the 4 senior teams, but the 2 underclass teams, the top 24.
I left one player. I didn't leave him out, but. Last but not least is Daryl Howard. Daryl Howard had 20 points against El Camino, and he's just played outstanding for us this year, and he's another ultra-competitive guard that we have. We have a really good group, and what I told them is they remind me of the old Washington. Washington was one of the schools that you didn't transfer to because they had all types of guards if you was a guard. You went everywhere else. To the Valley, different schools, but you didn't come to Washington because they had very good guards.
Yeah, you would leave Washington. Actually, back in the day, the players didn't leave because they were neighborhood kids and they wanted to stay at their neighborhood school. Because, I go back to, and Chris, we had John Mosley on the show. He's the head coach at East LA. I coached him when he was at Washington High School. He's in his 40s now. And, I remember working with him and other guys on his team in the summer, in the spring, and he was he's got to be, I don't know, he's probably 43, 44 years old. So back then they had guards back then, and they didn't leave. They were all from the neighborhood. They didn't leave. But Washington has a great tradition, and has had a probably, it's been known in my mind, Chris, is more of a basketball school than a football school.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of a basketball. So Coach Nolan Johnson's bringing that tradition back, which is what I'm happy and excited to see.
Now, I was thinking about this when we had Fremont's coach in here. We had Fremont in here not too long ago, and Westchester. Now, Westchester doesn't normally have this problem, but like for a school like you, inner city, not you're not the best city school, but you're not the worst city school. You're somewhere like right around the middle. You guys have a great season this year. Your best players, do you find it hard to keep them from transferring to different schools? Or because like Coach said earlier, before, and that was along the lines of what we were talking about earlier, with that kids wanted to play for their neighborhood school.
Right.
Nowadays, it's like you want to go to the high-profile school, the school that is sponsored by Nike and that goes out of town to different tournaments, and, the school that your AAU coach steers you to. So do you have a problem with keeping kids at the school, or?
Ooh, that's a good question, because I've been on both sides as a high school and an AAU coach. It really depends on the individual and what the kid believes in. And in my experience, has always been his relationship with his high school coach. If he has a great relationship or a good relationship with him, they'll stay and they'll work it out. But if there's a problem, or if he thinks he can do better somewhere else, then, the kids might leave. But now with the transfer rules being so much different than they were back in when you first hear them, they're different. But this is the deal. You get one move. Now, if you move again, okay.
Is that when you got to sit out the 30 days?
Right. Well, no, that's when you got to sit out the year.
Okay.
The first move, you sit out 30 days.
Right.
And then, but if you try to move again, then you got to sit a year.
Right.
So
is that with your parents moving or with your parents staying?
What everybody has to move.
Okay.
And I like how they promoted it, but really it's just a way of documenting where everybody's at.
Right.
So you really now know who's transferring. Where before it was just kind of guessing it around. But with a school like ours, or as you put a school that's not the top and not at the bottom, it's really about having a good relationship with your players.
Right.
And because I know some of the guys that I played for in high school, I know it would just be really bad if they tried to
coach
bring
nowadays.
that same attitude, because the kids are so much different.
Era too.
Yeah.
It was a different era because the coaches back when we coached. I mean, across from me right now was we called him Bobby Knight Jr. You know what I mean?
Everybody was Bobby Knight.
Yeah. So and not to say that in a mean way, because he was a hell of a coach. Coach Miller was a hell of a coach. I didn't know it then, but I can say it now. You know what I mean? And so, but a lot of the way, and I've seen him coach his team now, and he's nowhere near. He's tempered this a lot from
that true coach
from then to now.
I've gotten older.
Exactly.
I've gotten older. I think we have a final here, you guys. I think maybe I'm wrong. I think we have a final. Cal State Northridge 80, Long Beach State 77. Now
82-77.
Is that the final?
Cal State Northridge pulled it out.
Pompey.
Okay, so 82-77 is the final. So I wasn't premature when I announced that they had won earlier. I just could foretell the future. And if they call the show tonight and get on in the next 30 minutes before we go off the air, then I know they'll win tomorrow and go to the NCAA tournament. I know they will.
Well, you know what, Coach? I think you brought them a little luck, because when you first said it, they were winning. When you first said it,
I said they won, and I was wrong because they were winning.
Well, they were winning, but when I looked it up, they were down by 3. But as soon as we started talking about them, they came back and they pulled that out.
Right. Coach Johnson better get a hold of Chris Pompey right now.
I'm trying to text him now.
They got to call the show. We got to get Reggie Theus on the show and interview him for 5 minutes. and he's going to win the game tomorrow because we know our record. We know our record with it when we had St. Mary's call in. Remember, Chris?
Right.
They were in town. They call in. They beat Pepperdine the next day.
Right.
Okay.
And if we have Reggie Theus call in, we're going to have him for more than 5 minutes because I got about 20 questions. That was one of my favorite players when I was a kid.
Yeah, but you won't get to ask 20 questions because we don't have that much time of the show. Now, what we do have time for is a commercial break. And, Jeremy, if you can run a couple quick commercials, when we come back, we'll have time, to get into more Washington General basketball. And if Northridge calls in, we'll get a chance to talk to them as well. Let's run a break. Hey, this is Coach Miller. I'm excited to tell you about my new instructional videos that are on DVDs, produced and distributed by Scoreboard Media out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Scoreboard Media is a great outfit. They also publish books on recruiting and basketball. But what I want to tell you about is to make sure you get a chance to see my post-play DVDs. If you want to become a better post player, score more in the post, and be more effective for your team, why not check out my DVDs? These great instructional videos will really help improve your game. Scoreboard Media is the place to get them at.
Welcome to the 500 Club. We the best, my whole team tough. Close to 100 Division Ones I built up. Dedication and hard work. Step up to the court, I'm like, who ready to lose first? 14 times champs every year earned. Feet to the court, let me get in my zone. Hands grip to the ball, let me get in control. Non-stop, can't quit, that's a winner's quote. I'ma just keep doing me, hear the crowd as they cheer. 18 out of 19, coach of the year. Time out with Coach Miller, listen clear. 2 times a week, listen to me on the ear. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career.
This is Coach Miller from Time Out with Coach Miller. I'm here excited to tell you about Medicus Graphics Center located in Los Angeles, California. Medicus is the official printer and graphic designer of Time Out with Coach Miller. Medicus does a tremendous job for any printing need from big to small, whether you want to print a book or a 4-color poster or business cards. Go see my friends at Medicus Graphics Center in Los Angeles, California, located at 2030 Hyperion Avenue. Tell them Coach Miller sent you. Medicus will take care of you like they've taken care of me.
State champs, high school and JC. He was the first coach to do it in California history. Coach Miller, he can beat any team. Got shooters on the court and dunkers dunk everything. He got to win, so the plan is defeat. Been coaching on the court before he turned 18. From 08, going down to 93, he was the conference champs, home of the LACC. Youngest coach to beat 500 teams, 43. Everybody can't do it like he. A coach is something he was destined to be. Now we got a radio show to discuss some things, talking informative conversations. Listen to the real. Tuesday and Friday at night from 10 to 12. A live show, tune in and listen well. Special guests and take audience calls as well.
We're back. We're live. We're on the air. Welcome back to Time Out with Coach Miller. We're having a nice show tonight, Chris. It's hard to believe the show's almost over.
Yeah, I mean, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it's been a good show. We've had a good time. Coach Nolan Johnson from Washington High School's in the house. We were just talking about congratulating Cal State Northridge. Go Matadors, 82. Long Beach State, 77. Cal State Northridge is playing tomorrow in the championship game to go to the NCAA tournament. And do you know who they're playing? It's a kind of a big surprise. They're playing Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. And so you have two teams that are playing that were not supposed to be playing in the championship game.
March Madness.
That's right. I mean, it's crazy. It's March. It is March, isn't it? And
I got another score to update you with.
What do you got?
My favorite team. You know who I'm about to say.
No, I don't.
My UCLA
Duke?
Bruins.
Duke?
My UCLA Bruins.
Was Duke your favorite team?
My UCLA Bruins. You know this.
Oh, okay.
You know I've been a UCLA fan as long as you know me.
Okay.
Stomped Stanford tonight, 84-59 in the semifinals of the Pac-12. The Pac-12 conference. I don't even like saying that. Their tournament.
It's the Pac-10 tournament.
+2.
It's the Pac-10 +2. Okay.
So
it's the Pac-10 +2 teams from the mountains.
That shouldn't be in the Pac-10. But so it's going to set up a good rematch tomorrow. Their third time playing Arizona tomorrow night for the automatic berth into the tournament. So,
but both teams will be in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
both Arizona and UCLA. Arizona might be a number 1 seed. They could
be
if they beat UCLA tomorrow.
If things drop right after that,
if they beat UCLA tomorrow and one or two teams lose,
yeah.
They definitely could be a number 1 seed.
Yeah, they could be.
I mean, don't sleep. Don't sleep on that. Now, I frankly hope that UCLA beats them, and they're not a number 1 seed. I think UCLA has a good chance to beat them. I think they split this year, didn't they, Chris?
No, Arizona did get them both times.
Okay. Well,
I think three times.
Yeah.
That, and I think UCLA is playing their best ball tonight because they split with Oregon and they just dismantled Oregon last night.
Yep.
And tonight they split with Stanford also, and they throttled Stanford from the beginning tip, and then I've been following it all night, and they just went to town on Stanford tonight. So they're playing their best ball right now.
Yeah, they are. Now, it gives me an opportunity, though, also to I do make predictions on the show, and Chris will tell you, I'm about 90% plus right on almost anything that we predict on basketball on the show. I believe that Stanford the job will open. I believe that tonight,
Really?
Yeah, I believe that tonight's debacle and how bad they got beat, and the fact is that Coach Dawkins has been there 6 years, and they have not made the NCAA tournament in 6 years. I believe, and with tonight's showing, what Chris just said about that score. What was that score again, Chris? Tonight?
The score was 84-59.
Yes.
So that's a 25-point.
Yeah, see, that's not close. I believe that job will open. I believe that job will open by next week. Okay, the other job in the Pac-10 that I believe will open will be Washington State. I believe both.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
I believe both Stanford and Washington State will be open next week.
I hate to say that about people moving on, but Washington State, I can say.
Well, but it's part of this business. That's
Right.
number one, especially at the Division I level, and in particular at the Division I level or the NBA level. The thing you can't feel sorry, Coach. I'll be honest with you. You can't feel sorry about guys at the Division I level who get let go because they're making big money. Okay, so that's the thing. Like if you're there for 4, 5, 6 years and you're making, $500,000 a year or $1 million a year, I mean that's like a whole career for most of us. Right. Okay, so we don't need to feel sorry for them. They had the opportunity. They got their checks. Okay. Now, that said, what I want to say is we're not wishing this on anyone. I'm not happy about it, but I am in the news media now, and I'm reporting. And part of what this show is about is having people listen and be interested in what we're reporting. I believe that Stanford and Washington State will be open next week. Both those jobs will be open next week. I believe that. Now, if I'm wrong, Chris will tell me on Friday night when we're on the air, Chris. But if I'm right, Chris will also say, "Hey, wait a second, Coach Miller, you had this."
And you know what? Something that we talked about on last week's show that came to fruition that you talked about, and then I saw some article in the LA Times about the same exact thing you were talking about. We were talking about Mater Day players,
right?
Okay.
How they're good in high school, but it doesn't translate into college and the pros.
No.
And so,
and I'm gonna tell you right now, they've got the great player now,
Stanley Johnson.
He will not do well. He will not do well in Division I basketball. I tell you right now.
And he'll be at Arizona next year.
Well, you should be happy, Chris, because he won't do well, and that's against UCLA in the Pac-10. The Pac-10 plus 2.
I think he'll break the mold. I think he'll be the one. I don't know about doing great. I've
seen him play a couple times on TV, and I'm not impressed. Like, he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's good, but
he's a man. Here's the thing. He's a man among boys, body-wise,
right,
strength-wise. And when you get to the next level,
it's all equal.
He's just not going to be able to overpower people. I don't think he's that skilled.
And Chino Hill should have beat them last week. If my boy would have quit shooting the ball, Lonzo Ball, if he'd have quit shooting so much last week, they would have won that game. And they were talking about, I read this article in the LA Times, and they were talking about how Coach McKnight, he is a great coach, but he coddles his players a lot. He tells them how great they are and how, the player who called in earlier was telling us about his dad would tell him what he did wrong instead of telling him what he did right.
Right.
Coach McKnight, he coddles these players and, tells them they're the greatest. So when they get to the next level, they're not used to that negative.
I got one better.
Let's hear it.
Maybe they're over-recruited.
That too.
That's a very keen observation. Coach Johnson, you don't get a lot past him. He's a man of few words, but when he speaks, they're powerful because, number one, they are over-recruited. I agree. Now, I'm going to give you my reasons why Mater Day players don't do well. Number one, they're over-recruited. Coach Johnson stole my thunder, but he's right. Number two, they have a great program, and the coach gets the most out of them in high school. In other words, they squeeze that orange and get all the juice out of it.
Right.
There's nothing left for those guys. There's no upside for them at the next level because everything has been gotten out of them. Now let's turn that back around. We had 3 callers tonight that were student athletes. We had Brandon Crawford, who plays for Coach Johnson, who just played his first year of varsity basketball. Right. Okay, 6'7", 6'8". He's still young. He's only 17. Okay. His best is so far in front of him.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. We have Cameron Young from Westchester.
His best is way.
Who's only 17. He's going to be 18. What did we say in a week or so? His best is in front of him. We had Sage Woodruff from Fairfax. 6'5", big guard.
Mm-hmm.
His best is in front of him. Those 3 guys, if I have those guys and work with them for a year, they're going to be just
high major.
Yeah, they're going to be great players. Okay, now the converse is that Mater Day has a great program. They have about 45, 50 coaches there. Now, I'm exaggerating, but they got, you go to a game, you'll see they have about 15 guys with clipboards and shirts on. They've got, I look at you, Coach Johnson, you're doing it by yourself damn near. You got 1 or 2 volunteer helpers,
right?
And you're doing it by, they've got all these coaches. Chris, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a dental floss budget.
Yeah, exactly. And so what I'm saying is they've gotten all they're going to get out of those guys. They have strength coaches.
Yeah.
They have nutrition people helping them. They've got, and so they've maxed out. And they are also what Chris said. I think they can be coddled a little bit.
Well, the article that I read, they quoted a couple of former Mater Day players.
And let's hear it.
This article was in actually it was on ESPN's website, and they were talking about the two twins, the Ware twins that left North Carolina to go to UCLA. They talked about Taylor King that played at Villanova, that left Villanova to. I mean, he played at Duke. left Duke to go to Villanova.
And then he left Villanova to go to Concordia.
Right.
Okay, now what I will say is not only do the Mater Dei players not do well in Division I, they all transfer.
Right.
Seriously. I mean, no, not every one of them, but a huge majority of them transfer.
Right, and that's what the article was talking about, transferring. But that also ties into them not doing well in Division I and going into the NBA. And they interviewed a couple of their former players, like Miles Simon, that used to go to Arizona, and he talked about how he doesn't criticize his best players. You know what I mean? Like, he'll pick on the last player on the bench, but he won't pick on his best players. So when you keep hearing how good you are and, yeah, you're this, you're that, and the third, when you get into that's in high school. So, you know, he can get away with that because he basically has an all-star team. When you get into college, now it's more of a business. The coach has no time to play favorites. His job is on the line. Like we just talked about a few minutes ago, you know, some jobs might be opening up pretty soon because some teams aren't doing well. Right. So when you get into college, it's a business now. So I don't have time to tell you how good you are. You need to go out there and perform. And I might have to dig off in your butt to get you to perform. So if you've never had that before and this is new to you, you're like, wait a minute, hold up. What's the matter? What's his problem? Let me go to somewhere where maybe the coach isn't as rigid as this coach is.
Right, or as tough on you.
Right.
You know, I think that you all both have really good points about this. And, you know, again, I'm not afraid to go out on a limb and to say what I believe the truth is. And I believe the truth is that the Mater Dei players don't do well at the next level, that they are over-recruited, like Coach Johnson alluded to, that they've been maxed out, like I said, and that they don't get they get coddled, like you said, Chris. And I feel like I can tell you right now, this guy, you know, I know is ranked really highly in the recruiting services. He's going to Arizona. I don't think that Stanley Johnson is going to do that well. I really don't. And I think you'll see him transfer. Okay, the Reinhardt kid who was at UNLV last year.
Right.
He was second on the team as a freshman in minutes played, second on the team in shot attempts as a freshman, and he transferred. He's at USC. He's sitting out. Okay. Second on the team in minutes played, second on the team in shot attempts, and he transferred. Okay?
As a freshman.
As a freshman.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a second.
Okay.
Being on both sides, like I told you earlier, I was on the AAU side, now on the high school side. The typical modern day kid, we can say is an AAU kid.
Right.
With that saying, the way the parents have changed now.
Right. We talked about that.
They have a high expectation.
Right.
That may not be realistic with their level. Now, as a high school coach, your job is to put your team in a position to win, which I've met McKnight, and he's the most down-to-earth person I've ever met. He does that.
First of all, he's a really good coach, and he runs a great program. I am not criticizing Gary McKnight. You're not either. Yeah. We're not criticizing Gary McKnight. What we're saying is that their players don't do well in Division I.
And I think that comes from the house.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I think the parents shoot high and they push these kids so high that maybe it's not, because we all know you may get recruited to a UCLA, you may get recruited to Duke, but you might be the 12th guy.
Right.
And the reason you got recruited, you don't really know.
Right.
Kid might not have made it, maybe, and you're the last available dude.
I mean, he's had some McDonald All-Americans, and, they're going to have their pick of the litter of
he's
where
also
they want to go.
Mike Garrity's too.
Right. And so it's just like he said, he does run a good program, but there's something to be said when you have all these kids that transfer, left and right. Like, I'll even go back further when Shea Cotton was there. I mean, Shea Cotton was one of the best high school players anybody's ever seen. You know what I mean? And, he ended up going to Mater Day, and he ended up going to 4 different high schools. Now, that's not really Mater Day's fault. That's more of the kid, but that goes along with what you were saying, that, you know, a lot of these parents nowadays are looking at their kid as, you know, the next LeBron, the next Kobe, the next Garnett.
Let me give some advice to parents. Allow coaches to coach your kid hard, okay? Because that's going to prepare him.
Exactly.
That's going to prepare him to be successful in the workforce when he's an adult. Allow coaches to coach your kid hard, okay, so that your kid can grow up and be successful in the real world, okay? And if you're going to protect your kid and pull him out when a coach coaches your kid hard, guess what's going to happen when your kid's an adult?
Teach him to quit.
Okay.
I mean, I can honestly say for myself that there were times like this man right here in front of me. He yelled at us, and I'm looking at him like, I will knock you. I mean, I'm just getting so mad. But, you know, he wanted to get the best out of us. You know what I mean? And, I mean, it came to times where, you know, we got into shouting matches and whatever. You know what I mean? And like I said, when you're a kid, you can't really see it. But as you get older and become an adult, you see it a lot more. But there's nothing anybody could say to me that was worse than what he said to me. You know what I mean? So there's nothing the boss can get on me. They ain't nothing like Coach Miller was. This is nothing. Like he said, it allows you to be able to handle different situations as you get older.
I have a former player who played for me about 10 years ago. He played in our state championship team. He was a role player. He was like our 12th, 13th man. And I got him into a D2 school in Minnesota. I mean, you know, he averaged 1 or 2 points a game. Rodney Williams. And he's in the Special Forces now. He's a, you know, U.S. Army Special Forces guy. And I saw him about a year ago. In fact, he met me at Washington High School. And he came there, and I was there, and he met me there, and we hung out. And he's from Hawthorne. Mm-hmm. He was back in town visiting his mother and stuff. And he's married now with 3 kids. And played for me about 10 years ago, so he's probably about 29 or 30 right now. And he told me, you know what? The stuff that you did mentally and physically prepared me to be successful. Now, again, he averaged more points at a D2 school, university, than he did for me in junior college. But he said, that don't mean anything. He says, I'm playing for keeps now. You know, he showed me pictures of the big guns he carries and the stuff that he does, the training. He tells me about it. And, you know, he has to, Chris, he has to do this. Special Forces is different than the Army and different than the Marines. It's like different level stuff. You know, you carry like a 60-pound pack for, you know, like 8 hours hiking up a mountain and stuff. I mean, he said, oh, yeah. He said, none of this stuff phases me. He says, you know, the conditioning we did and how hard we worked and what you demanded out of us was, you know, I've got about 7 players, former players now that are LAPD. 7. All of them, police academy was easy. I said, easy compared to, you know, what you pushed us in. So again, what you're saying makes a lot of sense, you guys. And again, I just tell parents, allow your kids to be coached. Tough. Right. Allow people to coach your kids hard and be demanding of your kids. And support that. Allow that, okay? Because if you don't, what's going to happen is when your kid gets to be an adult and he's on his own and he has to get a job and be in the workforce, he's going to fail. He's not going to make it, okay? Allow your kids to be coached hard. It's important, okay? That's my advice to any parent listening. Now, let's get back to what we were saying. You know, I don't want to dwell too much on Mater Day, but I want to say something positive. Is I want to give a shout out to a former Mater Day player, and I believe McDonald's All-American Mater Day player, Tommy Lewis, who's a good friend of mine.
Great player.
I talked to Tommy. Tommy was one of the best high school players I've ever seen.
In California.
Yep. And I talked to
scoring record.
Well,
he did for a while.
Yeah, he scored a lot. I talked to Tommy, I think it was yesterday, for about 30 minutes. And he's the head coach at Saddleback Valley Christian. They go on the road tomorrow. This is another story. I'm going to make another prediction. They're an Orange County team. They go on the road up to Fresno in the state bracket for the Southern region. They play Emmanuel, who's a higher seed. Emmanuel is the 4th seed. Saddleback Valley Christian is the 5th seed. I predict Saddleback Valley Christian will win that game by double digits.
Whoa.
Okay, I predict that. And so a big shout out and a great congratulations to former Mater Dei star, former Mater Dei McDonald's All-American Tommy Lewis, who, by the way, transferred when he went to Division I.
He did. I remember that.
Yes, he did. By the way, so Tommy's in his 40s now. So this is not new, is all I'm saying. I had to get that digging. This is not new. So with Mater Dei players going D1 to high profile and then transferring, okay, Tommy went to USC and he transferred and went to Pepperdine. Tommy had a good career. He had a good Division I career, but not a great career. His Division I career didn't match the expectations that I think that people had for him being a McDonald's All-American.
Well, it's hard when you have that target on your chest. And I always tell kids, you get all the accolades and glory when you're the number one player, but man, it's a lot of responsibility. Yeah,
there's no question. That's a good and wise statement on your part. So, okay, let's decide where we're going to see games tomorrow. Now, Chris, you may or may not see a game, but if you were going to see a game tomorrow, what game would you see?
That's a good one.
Would you see Chino Hills at home against Edison?
I think I might. I've seen Chino Hills play 4 times this year, and I really like them. And plus, as I told you before, I really like the Ball brothers because one of them is going to UCLA. But that probably would be the game I will go to tomorrow.
Okay. I'd
spend a day out in IE and go hit that game tomorrow.
Okay, Coach Johnson, what are you going to see tomorrow? I know not what you would see, but what will you see? Do you know yet?
Pretty much.
Okay, is it Long Beach Poly Mayfair?
Mayfair. One of my guys, Willie Moorhan. Good luck to you.
Okay, so you're going to be at Mayfair High School tomorrow, and they play at 6:00. They host Long Beach Poly. Mayfair is in Lakewood. They're just right around the corner from Long Beach Poly, right?
Yep.
Okay,
right up to 710.
That's going to be an easy trip for you. And my heart is going to be with Fairfax when they're playing Centennial Corona. Now, my body might not be there, but my heart will be there. I'm going to surprise you, and I'm going to tell you where I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm going to go see. This is going to surprise you.
Wait a minute. Tell me what division it is, and I'll tell you what game it is.
Division 5.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me go to the Division 5. I'll tell you exactly what game you're going to go see.
You better predict quick.
View Park?
Yep.
I was just about to say that.
Okay. I'm going to go see View Park play, and they don't have a home gym. They don't have a gym. They're going to play, I think it's St. Mary's tomorrow night, 7:30.
Good game.
And they play Santa Clarita Christian. They should win. The big game for them will be Tuesday when they play San Gabriel Academy. Because San Gabriel Academy is the number 2 seed. They're the number
Mr.
3.
Levette.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be the big game for them. So that'll be the game that you separate the men from the boys right there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, but
so Tuesday, are you going to go to the Redondo
Westchester game? Yeah, I think all 3 of us are going to be there for that one.
Okay, but I might have to make a detour because if both Loyola and Fairfax win tomorrow, then I think I'm going to go to that game Tuesday night.
That's interesting. You guys may not know this. You know that tomorrow Loyola plays at home against Mission Viejo. Do you know what time they play? They play at 2 p.m. So you could you could go to that game. Chris, you could see Loyola play Mission Viejo at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And then still catch another game.
I wonder where that game is going to be at that they're playing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's at Loyola.
Is it?
Well,
it's at... Yes, at Loyola.
It is at Loyola.
Why is it at 2 o'clock?
Well, maybe
that's weird.
Maybe there's another event. Who knows? But okay, so we kind of got our roadmap for tomorrow, and we're going to close this thing out in a couple more minutes. But I just wanted to kind of get back to our guest here, and let's focus, in another minute or two on what his plans are. So you're going to be trying to tell us what your goals are for Washington General program, because you accomplished a lot this year, Coach Johnson, and in a 20-win season is amazing. But what are your goals and your plans for the future?
Well, they're very high, very high. You want the type of success that other schools have had, and Washington has had a successful program, and I want to take them to that next step and get them over the hump. And in order to do that, we have to have our players believe in the system and work hard. And I think we have a good young group that can do that. The returning guys, we all know about them, but our freshmen won the city title for the Frost-Off League this year.
Is that right?
Right.
Nice.
Very, very proud of them. Young freshman guys came in just like their older counterparts brought in, worked hard, and they had a struggle because they really got beat up on pretty good trying to learn different game situations, but they rebounded and applied the principles and brought home a city title, and I'm very proud of them. Very proud of them. So, we have good young talent. We're just going to get back in the gym and work hard and try to duplicate and take it one step further.
Yep, there's no doubt. Now, before we sign off, we're talking about what your goals are for Washington and stuff. And we'd have to go back a few years. Back in, I believe, in 2002, Washington won the City Invitational, which is a lower level. They don't have that anymore. Now they have these divisions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But
that's so crazy to me now.
Yeah, but back then they had the city championship. They had the invitational. The invitational was a lower level. But that was the last time Washington won any kind of city championship. Were you aware of that?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so
they won the invitational.
Yeah, in 2002. Now that's something, but again, it's the lower level. It wasn't the full deal. Now, if you want to go to when Washington won the whole thing, okay, wait a second. That was girls. That wasn't the boys. Okay, so let me just go to what Washington did. They won it, the boys' city championship in 1949. Okay, that was a long time ago. Coach Johnson, you weren't even born in 1949. You weren't even a thought in your parents' eye in 1949.
I wasn't even a twinkle in my dad's eye.
And I want to say the demographic was a lot different also because my good friend who was also a teammate on me and Coach Miller's team, his mom went to Washington High School, and the demographics were a lot different back then also. Back then she was one of the few blacks there.
I believe George Seifert went there too.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm looking at what I gave that 2002, the City Invitational. That was for the girls' side, actually, Chris.
Side. Okay.
So the boys' side, the only city championship that Washington has ever won, and this makes sense to me because I've been following it since the early 80s, and the only city championship that Washington ever won was in 1949. 1949. Okay.
What was that, 63 years ago?
Well, it's a few years. So they've got
you got your work cut out for you.
Well, I
think you can do it.
You know what? First year, win 20 games. That's a good start.
That's what I said. I think you can do it.
So
we're not worried about that.
In honor of that, as we close out our show, is we've got a special Power Moves Only wristband for Coach Johnson. Okay. And we've got one for him. And Chris, you're wearing yours now, I see. I'm always wearing mine. Power Moves Only, PMO. And it's a great movement. And the affirmation on this wristband,
I love it,
is make yourself stronger than your excuses. And we don't make excuses, in other words. So If we can get all the players to buy into that at Washington, we're going to be fine. Hey, it's been great having you guys on the show. Coach Johnson, thank you for coming in. It's been a great show.
Thank you very much. And the only prediction I want to make is we're going to take you on your invitation the next time that you invite us.
We'll have more of the players here.
No, players. We're going to show up because you have such a perfect record. And you invited us before the Dorsey game.
Yep.
And I think we were looking at film.
And you should have come.
And we should have come. We shouldn't have looked at film. We should have came.
You should have come because you lost to Dorsey in overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next season, when we have you guys on,
we're here
before your biggest game.
We're here.
We call you, Coach. We need you to come in. Make yourself stronger than your excuses.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go, Chris. I like that.
Make that power move and get that W for the next game.
I like that. Okay, well, listen, Jeremy, thanks for doing such a great job in the sound booth. And, Chris, thank you for your awesome work. And, Coach Johnson, go Generals. And, Jeremy, you can play our song and take us out of here.
16 made a dream with this basketball. Coach Miller on the court, and we going hard. Pass the rock to the paint. I give it my all to be like Chris Paul. Shoot the 3-point, y'all. Look, it's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships. We winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling. Cause all I know is win and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss. Welcome to the 500 Club. We the best, my whole team tough. Close to 100 Division I's I built up. Dedication and hard work. Step up to the court, I'm like, who ready to lose first? 14 times champs every year earned. Feet to the court, let me get in my zone. Hands grip to the ball, let me get in control. Non-stop, can't quit, that's a winner's quote. I'ma just keep doing me. Hear the crowd as they cheer. 18 out of 19, coach of the year. Time out with Coach Miller, listen clear. 2 times a week, listen to me on the ear. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career. Over 30 wins, it was for 4 straight years. First to win state my high school and college career. It's time out with Coach Miller. 14 straight conference championships. We winners. It don't stop from the bottom to the ceiling. Cause all I know is win and we winning. Full focus, we got a topic to discuss. High school, prep school, small colleges, yup. Another special guest today, listen up. It might get a little hectic from the stuff we discuss. State champs, high school and JC. He was the first coach to do it in California history. Coach Miller, he can beat any team. Got shooters on the court and dunkers dunk everything. He got to win, so the plan is defeat. Been coaching on the court before he turned 18. From 08, going down to 93, he was the conference champs, home of the LACC. Youngest coach to beat 500 teams, 43. Everybody can't do it like he. A coach is something he was destined to be. Now we got a radio show to discuss some things, talking informative conversations. Listen to the real. Tuesday and Friday at night from 10 to 12. A live show, tune in and listen well. Special guests and take audience calls as well.